So last week I did the David Goggins challenge, which is the last video here on the channel. You should definitely check it out after this one. And the first lesson I learned from that is that you have to prepare for the toilet. I realized this after having to poop after almost every run, is when the legs are just moving so much more, then something's gonna happen. My legs are moving so much, and it really that's something that really gonna activate the digestive system. With pooping, usually I like to get it up early in the day, and so I don't have to later. But then here it was every 4 hours. I was running and then I was on the toilet. I was running and then on the toilet. This is the toilet, man. That's something it's gonna call you when you're not ready for it. And the more that you feel like you just got out of the way of it, or I made myself acceptable to be there and in time, on time, on that thing, the less times it's gonna be a disturbing entrance that you give it. That's why it's a little important to be in tune with your body. When I can feel what my body's doing, I want that to happen. But when you prepare for the toilet, or just like know it's gonna happen, and the experience of it can be a little bit more pleasant, if you know what I'm saying. So the next lesson that we have is that decision fatigue is real. Something I did when I was preparing for a race, it wasn't a race, just the giant run. I mapped out every run that I was going to do. So I had 3 different running routes that I ran each running route 4 different times, and that gave me the ability to know exactly where I was gonna go, and more of my energy was able to be put solely on running. I hear people talk about stuff like this before, like the story of Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, that a lot of us have probably heard of, that you will see billionaires wearing the same outfits every day because they want to limit the amount of decisions we make. They say we make about 500,000 million trillion billion decisions. Whatever big number it is, you want to make it as small as possible so that you can make the important decisions on things that matter. Like, the other things I was doing was coughing up my food just by making sure that I knew what kind of food I was going to be eating. And when there's less decisions I was making, simply the whole schedule was there. So it's like you have this vision of yourself, something happening, and just the rest of it is just a runway. You gotta go on that runway, start the engine. Once the engine started, it's over, man. It's over. And the next lesson that I had was that sleep is a superpower. I didn't expect this to happen when I started this, but I probably only got about maybe 5 or 9 hours of sleep the whole time, which clearly isn't good. And so then the next night, when I was actually done, I made sure to get as much sleep as possible. I made sure to get as much sleep as possible previously too, because it was a condensed time period where everything was about running. You know what I'm saying? And when everything's about running, then I couldn't really sleep. And I was sleeping on the floor because I didn't want to get in my bed. My bed is way too comfortable. I have the most comfortable bed you'll ever see. But the floor is not comfortable at all. Everybody knows that. So it kind of kept me awake, or when the alarm got up, I was able to be awake, and I didn't go back to sleep easily. That's what put me on the road, and it really unlocked a different system in my body. How I was able to just keep going with the little sleep that I had. But sometimes your mind will be able to not do as much things. That it's really the best PED you'll ever find. Just a good night's sleep when you close your eyes and then wake up what feels like 10 minutes later, and it's really like 45 seconds of pure bliss. When for the rest of the day I get full energy now. Full energy. Full energy, man. That's what that is. That's what sleep does to you. And I forget the fourth lesson, so I'll be right back. And the fourth lesson that I learned from the David Goggins challenge is that your body has more in store. It is often that our brains will say no. Your brain is going to say that it doesn't want to do something because it is something that seeks comfort. Your brain wants to be, it is the engine of the whole body. It wants to be as comfortable as it can be. It wants to curl up on that couch. Or your brain just wants to rest next to that fire with a little bit of some snacks. But what actually happens is that your body is gonna be able to do more than what you think is gonna happen. Your finger, you could actually move so much, but we choose not to. It is a conscious decision we make to be comfortable. When you're being comfortable, it's not making us any better. Seeking discomfort is one of the greatest things that we can do. It is no more that I am going to be like, oh, I'm not going to run today, I was already at the gym. Or I'm not going to go to the gym because I already ran today. Something like that. Or you didn't, just because you need some rest in the day. When if you actually try to do something at minimal effort, just to do it, to tell yourself, hey, I did that. Hey, I did that. I need to start doing that more, okay? I don't actually do that. But I want to say, hey, I did that. I did that just so that I can check that box off. And because I learned that through being able to run 4 miles every 4 hours. And I'm not going to be like that. If I could run 4 miles every 4 hours, then why would I go to the gym once in the morning of the day and then not do something later in the day, or like think that I'm tired, but then the thing that I say I'm too tired to do actually makes me super excited to do something that I'm missing out on. I'm not gonna be missing out on that. Okay? So that's what, those are some things that I learned from this big running challenge. Now we got more ahead of us.